That was a fine call, too. That was 3rd and 4. And you go with the pitch out, you almost are certain they're going to run the football, particularly with Megan in the backfield.
Check this. There's Armstrong, 78. He's into Smith. Just watch this block. Watch him go, and he just drops Bruce Smith to the ground, and Megan cuts in right behind him. A pair of Pro Bowlers in the marquee matchup up front. And the inside pursuit is not there for Buffalo. Boy, and it's tough to play much better offensively than the Patriots have here in the first half, and that's about as emotional as Parcells has been this year.
That feels so good, too, for a head coach. The brain trust. They had the timeout at the 2-minute warning. Ray Perkins up in the top conferring with Parcells on the sideline. That was the decision, not to throw the football, but run the football. And if you know Bill Parcells, he'd much rather run the football than throw it.
New England owning the quarter.
That's 100 times better.
100-to-1 return.
That's Ray Perkins, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. And way back in the early 80s, it was Bill Parcells who replaced him as head coach of the Giants, as Perkins went off to coach Alabama. They're back together.
The Patriots had scored 6 touchdowns in 6 games all season. 3 in 28 minutes tonight. And that's taken by Chris Green. And he brings it back up to the 38-yard line. And let's get an update from Brent Musburger. Brent?
Well, coming up on the Toyota halftime report, Al, we've got a couple of drug suspensions in the NFL. And we're also going to tell you about a quarterback change. We're going to be talking live with San Francisco 49er linebacker Ken Norton Jr. Peter King of SI is in the Windy City to see what's up with the Bears. And now you'll have a conversation with Buffalo head coach Marv Levy. Back to the game.
Okay, Brent, and the Buffalo Bills now with Jim Kelly finding everybody covered. Looks to lateral, then keeps it. What a move!
The sly old fox.
Tarkenton lives.
And look at him, getting everyone back, conserving time. Making that little lateral to the outside, fooling the defensive man.
I think it was Marty Moore, number 58.
He bought it.
Oh, 45-yard line, first down. Kelly gets sacked at his own 49. Ferrick Collins.
Algro signaling the defenses in. Another Giant assistant under Bill Parcells. He's hung in there with the pass.
Second down and 15. Bills with just 1 timeout left. And the pass underneath, Lonnie Johnson makes the catch, but just a minimal gain to the 46-yard line. 3rd and 11 upcoming. Vincent Brown makes the tackle.
Remember, Buffalo had to use some of their timeouts earlier in this ball game. They're down to only 1 remaining.
Both in the first quarter, 1 on offense, 1 on defense. Pump fake. Kelly needs 11 and gets plenty more. Bill Brooks off to the races. And Bill Brooks scores a huge touchdown to get Buffalo right back into the game.
Bill Brooks, who had a great game last week in the 27-21 win over Seattle, comes up with another touchdown reception, and going against that zone, he was just wide open. But again, the offensive line gave Jim Kelly so much time to find him. Look at this. He just stands and dances there in the pocket till Brooks breaks underneath, wide open.
And I think in this situation, Buffalo is going to go for 2 points, trailing 21-12 in an effort to get it to 21-14.
Very important for Buffalo to put those points up.
Buffalo takes a timeout because down by 9. Elijah Pitts, considering the 2-point play here.
Right. You still need a touchdown and a field goal to give you the lead here.
He has Marv's unlisted numbers.
If you make the 2-point conversion, you get within a touchdown.
But if you miss it, you still need a touchdown and a field goal. So it's kind of a curious call here, because if you kick the extra point, you still get the chance to score and try the 2-point conversion later on. And it's the first half. A lot of things. I wonder what Marv is. We're going to. By the way, one thing we want to talk about with Marv Levy, he was great enough to consent to do the interview at halftime. He got out of the hospital yesterday, but we didn't want to move a whole camera crew and lights and the rest, so we will do it on the phone with Marv. We'll hear from him at halftime from his home in Buffalo. But,
we're just happy he's home.
Very happy.
The prognosis is so good. And say it once again, one of the fine people you'll ever meet in this game or any other game.
2-point attempt here.
This is a you make the call, Marv.
Yep. Fake to Holmes, and wide open is Carwell Gardner for the conversion.
New game.
And now the Bills within a 7-point touchdown of being able to tie it up. And that is just a huge breakdown for the Patriots defensively. Boy, you got a chance to go into halftime with a very nice commanding lead. And you just make it awfully easy for the Buffalo Bills.
Gardner's first reception of the season. I guess you would kind of disregard him.
Yeah.
Al Grove not too happy with what he saw. Carry a lot of impact over into the second half. Buffalo was totally frustrated throughout the first half, and all of a sudden they were able to move the length of the field and not put 3 up, but put 7 up.
Well, if you're going to work the hurry-up offense, guys, who better to do it than a team that operates out of the no huddle virtually the whole game anyway? It's really no different whatsoever for Jim Kelly. Just another offensive series.
Elijah Pitts played for Vince Lombardi. Elijah scored the first rushing touchdown in Super Bowl I. Max McGee scored the first touchdown in that game, the 35-10 victory for the Packers over Kansas City. Elijah and McGee each scored twice.
Elijah played on 4 NFL championship teams under the main man, Vince.
Just the difference, Elijah remembers his scores. I'm not sure Max remembered them at the time.
Christie's kick taken by Kevin Lee at the 13-yard line up to the 28. I wonder if Max even knew about it after the game.
Oh, no. One of the all-time
harsh on Max.
Oh, one of the all-time great guys, Max McGee.
I heard that from Max.
He loved the bright lights. He had a good traveling partner in number 5.
Somebody hanging something in front of our booth there. Little quarterback comparison. Pretty good outing for both of these guys from a percentage standpoint. 7 of 11, 12 of 19. But the big yardage advantage goes to Drew Bledsoe. But what's important here, neither one of them with a turnover.
28 seconds. New England has all of its timeouts. 3 receivers set to the right. Bledsoe chased, throws it away. Bledsoe, with that separated shoulder, suffered in the San Francisco game. Talking to him before the game, he said he feels a lot better. In fact, tonight is the first time he's worn his old shoulder pads. He had special shoulder pads since he suffered the injury, and he said they were bothering him.
He hurt himself in the 3rd game of the season. He missed the 4th game, their loss to Atlanta, and yet being hurt, playing injured, the guy is still averaging 50 passes a game coming into tonight. That's a lot of attempts for a guy that's playing with a sore wing.
On 2nd and 10, they keep it on the ground and they give it to David Meggett. He takes it up to the 31-yard line. And New England takes a timeout. Bill Parcells, the last time he coached a first half with his team scoring 21 or more points, 1988 with the Giants against Dallas.
Boy, doesn't that seem like an awfully long time ago? Sure. 1988? You'd think there'd be a couple of explosions along the way.
Yep. Well, Bill's teams with the Giants, of course, noted for ball control and defense. And Commanders won 2 Super Bowls, and then because of health problems, quit football, went to work for NBC for a couple of years. He was induced to return by Bob Kraft a couple of years ago and is now in his 3rd season here.
This is his love. There's no question about it. And he said, when I wasn't healthy enough to do it, I didn't do it. I'm healthy enough to do it now. There was concern last week when he didn't show up at the press conference following the Kansas City game. As he said tonight, I had quite a talk with him. There was no concern. He said, I just didn't feel like I could be there at the moment. It was a very emotional thing for me. I suffered a little dehydration.
He
downplays. It's no big deal.
He downplays all questions about his health. 3rd down and 6 at the 30-yard line. Frisbee makes the catch and steps out of bounds at the 40. 12 ticks left.
But again, if you know him, you know how 1 in 5 really eats on him. This is a man who lives. He's got a lot of Lombardi in him, and that this is the only thing he cares about right now at the moment. You can see it on every play. He's involved in everything about this football team, and it hurts to be 1 in 5.
Bledsoe chased, and he slings that one away. And he gets taken down by Bryce Pop. So Drew gets up. It'll be 2nd down at the 40-yard line with 8 seconds left in the half.
A man whose motor is running 100% of the time, Bryce Pop, and he's been a great help for Buffalo's defense. He's on one side, and you have Bruce Smith on the other. You really can't double up on either one of them.
Well, Pop was the NFL sack leader coming into this weekend. He's now a half a sack behind. Another sack will put him in front.
Here's Meggett on a screen. And he's out of bounds as time expires. And the first half is over. The Buffalo gets...
Well, you see,
looks like Bruce Walker actually got his right hand on the ball. And a one-hopper right to Slade.
Slade has been the man on the spot tonight.
New England first down at the 29-yard line. And it's a reverse as Lee takes it. Kevin Lee gets tackled at the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 4. Sam Rogers stops him there. Patriots did capitalize on Thomas's early fumble, going in for the first 7 points of the game. And here in the first minute of the 3rd quarter, try to extend their advantage. They're up by 7.
Be interesting to see the coverage here in the second half on number 87, Ben Coates, on part of the Buffalo Bills. They were covering with the linebacker earlier.
Martin on a delay on 2nd and 6. Picks up 3. Takes the ball to the 22-yard line. 3rd down and 3. Remember, coming into the game, the Buffalo Bills had allowed an average of 263 yards per game. They're defense number 1, and the Patriots gained that much in the first half.
Well, as Dan pointed out a couple of times in the first half, there's been total domination of the offensive line of New England, of the Buffalo's number 1 defense. Imagine they did a little chit-chat at halftime.
3rd and a short 3. And that is incomplete. Cornelius Bennett with the tight coverage. Was he there early? Sam Gash says he was, the head linesman, who of course has the ultimate decision. Well, John Schleier says no, he wasn't.
I don't think there's any question that Cornelius Bennett goes right through the intended receiver. From up here, it certainly looked like he was there a tad early, but I think that's the kind of coverage that's tight enough that more often than not, it's the defender who is praised by the official with a non-call.
That'll trot out another ex-Giant. Field goal kicker Matt Barr, who smiled tonight and took his hand and said, "I'm just glad to be working."
17th year in the league. Scott Zolak to put it down. This is a 39-yard attempt.
That's why he's still working.
Yeah. He's the man who put the Giants into the Super Bowl that they won with that last-minute kick against the 49ers to win the NFC Championship game for Parcells. 24-14, Pats. Brought a bunch of them and assistant coaches as well with him. His team up by 10 as O'Neal sends a short kick into the arms of Holmes. And Holmes seeing double duty tonight, running back kicks and spelling Thurman Thomas. Now, we were talking about Parcells and bringing in former Giants. An assembly line.
Yeah, you run a couple coaches by there also.
We could make this one go on for a while.
Where did we go to get this sound effect? This sounds like somebody's letting the air out of a balloon or something.
It was before the Disney acquisition, believe me. Derek Holmes makes the catch and takes it up to the 41-yard line. And to illustrate what we were talking about, Abrams, Barr, Diassi, Guyton, who's hurt tonight, Cratch, Meggett, and Roberts all played in Super Bowl 25, the victory over the Buffalo Bills in Tampa.
That's more guys than the Giants still have.
And Brooks makes the catch.
It is. The Giants have, what, 4?
Look who's left here for the New York Giants. It's a smaller list than the one you just saw.
We did the Super Bowl, and we have more.
Only 4 New York Giants still remaining. Rodney was on that roster, but didn't play in Super Bowl 25 because of an injury.
They didn't need him that day. O.J. Anderson was the guy. Wound up as the MVP.
And that New York exodus here to Boston extends to the coaching staff as well, as virtually this entire staff is Bill's old staff from the New York Giants.
Al Rose, defensive coordinator, went with Belichick for 1 year before joining Bill here.
Tim Roberts knocked that last pass down. The defensive end, Kelly slings it incomplete. That's intended for Russell Copeland, who has been shut out tonight. We talked about Myron Guyton, the longtime Giant safety, now here, hurt tonight. There he is.
He has an injured knee. Yeah. Should be out for a couple of weeks.
Third down, 10 at the 49-yard line. Early third quarter. New England up by 10.
Boy, and this crowd's into it now.
Yeah. And Lonnie Johnson does not make the catch. Couldn't hold on at the 39.
A couple tonight for Lonnie. And again, you have to think back to Pete Metzelaars, who went off to Carolina as an unprotected free agent. He had over 100 receptions in the past 2 years from Jim Kelly. He was a big target for them. Of course, they lost their speed on the outside when Don Beebe also went to Carolina.
Chris Moore, who's from the same town in Georgia that produced maybe the best punter ever in Ray Guy. High floating kick, fair catch called for, and Meggett has trouble getting to the football. So a break for the Bills as it rolls dead at the 11-yard line. They called for the fair catch, couldn't get there. 3 minutes into the third quarter.
The stock market for the next 100 years. The NASDAQ Composite Index closed today at 1,036.92, down 2.52 points.
Foxborough Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Al Michaels with Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, and Lynn Swan. Monday Night Football in New England for the first time since '81. And the Patriots lead 24-14. Early third quarter, first down pass from the 11-yard line. Martin takes it up to the 12. Second and long. Drew Bledsoe out of Washington State. And highly heralded as a college performer. As we mentioned earlier, it's cemented a new 7-year deal. This is the first of 7. He'll be the Patriots quarterback through the year 2001.
And he'll still be young.
Just 23, just turned 23.
Just a baby still.
Second and 9, slings it away. Everybody covered. Third down. Troy Brown the closest to it, and he was in Providence.
Which is, in reality, I think, closer to Foxborough than downtown Boston.
Charlie Weiss, another of the former Giant coaches. You're right. In fact, a lot of the visiting teams stay in Rhode Island, and another former Giant there, Maurice Carthen, now an assistant coach. Third down and 8 from the 12-yard line. Meggett, speaking of former Giants, and he's up to the 19, but he's short of the first down. Bryce Pop makes the tackle, and Buffalo will get the ball back.
Well, nice job by Dave Meggett of coming back and giving Drew Bledsoe someplace to go with that football, as Bledsoe was running for his life, headed towards his own end zone. But because of the amount of ground that Bledsoe had to give up because of the Buffalo pass rush, Meggett wasn't able to make it up.
Good job by the Buffalo defense. 3 and out for New England. That's the first in a long time.
Pat O'Neill to punt. Jeff Torres to receive it. Short kick. Bad kick. Down at the 40-yard line. Bills have it at the Patriot 40 with 10:32 to go in the third quarter after a 21-yard boot. Greg Norman and the PGA Tour's top money winners tee off in Tulsa. Tour Championship, and then there is the college football lineup. Regionally, Nebraska, Colorado headlining it this Saturday on ABC. Kelly gives it to Copeland on an end around, and that doesn't fool anybody. Chris Slade is there for the tackle back to the line of scrimmage.
Good game for Chris Slade. Second-round draft pick a couple of years ago. Having a really fine year. Superb athlete. He's quick and strong. And as you can see, good size and a good read here. Fights off the block of sips him behind Reuben Brown.
2nd and 11. Catch is made. Derek Holmes to the 34-yard line. Ted Johnson makes the stop.
Again, this is a struggling Buffalo Bills offense tonight. Minus Andre Reed, who's been out for a couple of weeks and will be out for a couple of weeks more. They lost Thurman Thomas very early in this ball game. A lot of burden on the shoulders of Jim Kelly and rookie Derek Holmes.
Holmes in motion, 3rd down and 5, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. Justin Arbor, no fumble, down there, but short of the first down, so it's 4th down and 1. Kelly looks over
Terry
to the
Ray
bench.
making a good play there defensively to keep Armour, who is back in the game after being hurt in the first quarter, and from picking up that first down.
And it's too long of a field goal try for Christie, so they're going to go for it.
4th and 1, you'd be looking at a 47-yard attempt.
Good play here by Ray, the defensive back.
So they pass up a 47-yard field goal attempt. 4th and 1, the crowd rises. Christie looks on. Kelly gives it to Holmes out of the eye, and he's thrown for a loss by Willie McGinnis.
The entire defense strung that out.
Well, guess who? Let's try Chris Slade. I think Slade was one of the guys involved who forces him way to the outside.
Welcome to the greatest air connection.
Didn't want people going too crazy about him, so he called him, half facetiously, a one-game wonder. But you wonder what that does to a kid's confidence.
It's Parcells' coaching style. He throws compliments around like manhole covers. They don't land very often, and when they do, oftentimes they're kind of disguised. He has his own style. It's unique and it's a little different.
Coach makes the catch, and that's a 1st down. There it is, the opening game against Cleveland, 102 yards, and then in the subsequent games, a total of 186 and a 2.5 average.
Now, the other side is that Bill could say, hey, I was just being prophetic.
Yes.
Because in reality, he was right.
But tonight, Martin is back. He's having a big night. 86 yards, 20 carries. Meggett's in motion. Meggett makes the catch, and Meggett is tackled short of the 50-yard line by Cornelius Bennett.
Martin probably would have been a much higher draft pick. He was a 3rd-round draft pick from Pittsburgh, but he only played a couple of games last year, his senior year, and he had a good junior year, and so he hung around in the 3rd round, and actually has made some super plays for a rookie. And Bill Parcells just doesn't like to start rookies, period. And they are going to get even fewer compliments.
2nd down and 7 from the 49-yard line. And that's Martin. It's funny the way you've got Holmes and Martin as the running backs, because neither coach, and I'm talking about Marv Levy, likes to start rookies. In fact, Marv's theory has always been in training camp, we look at 40 young guys to get 4.
And, of course, not starting rookies was a luxury that a lot of coaches had before the era of free agency. And now teams are not nearly as deep as they used to be, and a lot of their good players move on and aren't replaced. Rookies are being pressed into service more than ever.
3rd and 4. Meggett. Ooh, and Dave leaping tries to get the first down and may have gotten it.
He got it in the air, I believe.
Well, it wasn't through lack of effort by Henry Jones. Meggett takes to the air, and Jones holds on to Dave's ankle. Dave almost like the Thanksgiving wishbone.
Well, that is a good picture of awareness of where he was. He knew exactly what he had to do. He was keeping his eye on Jones, but he knew exactly how far he had to extend to get that first.
Great effort by Dave Meggett.
And Bryce Pop putting the final pop on Meggett. Pop is all over this field.
He gets it. Well, Meggett's effort rewarded. It's a game played by the big boys.
Room for the little guy now and then.
6:13 left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, one thing about Dave Meggett, Frank, and I know you'll agree with this over the years, he doesn't play little.
Well, he makes big plays when they count, too. He doesn't have a lot of flash, but when it doesn't count, he just makes it when it counts.
Double tight end set on the 44-yard line. Martin gets by Pop. Cuts it back. Picks up 9.5. Sam Rogers makes the stop.
That is real fine running, showing speed to get away from the first defender and then breaking it back to the inside. Couple of jukes and a quick 10 yards.
And it's kind of fun to see a crowd that is agonized through these last 5 losses by the Patriots really into tonight's game. And it's easy to cheer and it's easy to root for a run like that.
Ran away from Pop and broke back inside of Hansen.
2nd and inches from the 35-yard line. Bledsoe guns one to the far side, and the catch is made inbound by a sliding Brisby.
Well, right now, if I'm Elijah Pitts, I start substituting on my defensive line because they offered no pass rush at all right there against Drew Bledsoe. They stood and watched. They were spectators on that play, barely getting off the line of scrimmage.
And Bledsoe not only had Brisby
Look at that.
open on the outside, but he had Coates open right down the middle.
Yeah. The Bills, rather, a little bit standing around and watching now.
Here's Martin. He picks up a couple here, so he is closing in on 100 yards. Cornelius Bennett makes the tackle. That's his 23rd carry of the night. We're talking about rookies. Martin played behind a guy starting for Buffalo tonight, Reuben Brown, playing left guard, the rookie from Pittsburgh. The two of them with the Panthers last year.
And big Reuben Brown is he's a kid that has Pro Bowl written all over him down the road.
2nd and 8. Martin's gained 99 yards. Bledsoe going for 6 and a little too far. Brisby, the intended receiver, and Thomas Smith right there with him.
Yeah, they keep going after Thomas Smith almost as if they have picked up something that he has shown in the film, and they just keep working on him, and he has provided some good coverage. Top of your screen, number 28 in a sprint with Brisby, and he's right there. It would have had to have been an absolutely perfect pass, and even then, Smith might have got a hand on it.
And Brisby hurt himself. He's just hobbling back along the far sideline. He's had to be replaced.
3rd and 8. Great protection and incomplete and almost picked off by Bennett.
The Pro Bowlers are supposed to make that play. Right in the arms of Cornelius Bennett.
I think Bennett might have heard that one.
That had a lot on it. It would have been a good catch, but it certainly was right there. He's just reading the eyes now of Bledsoe as he drops. And what quick reactions.
Got to catch that, Corny. Got to catch that, and you got to wonder what in the heck was Drew Bledsoe looking at. No pass rush at all. A wide open view, and it's
42-yard attempt by Barr is blocked, and trying to get the handle on it was Smith, and now Burris picks it up, and he's finally tackled at the 30-yard line. And the Bills with a gigantic break. Instead of the Patriots having a 13-point lead, it remains 10, and Buffalo has it at the Patriot 30-yard line.
Well, fortunate for Buffalo, they block it, but then fortunate for New England that Thomas Smith isn't able to pick it up. I think Bryce Pop gets the block.
I think it was.
Don't get carried away, darling. It's just a song.
The music of George Strait. Brought to you by Bud Light.
They're learning how to deal with issues like AIDS, teen pregnancy, as well as nutrition and fitness. The United Way is entering a new era, and the NFL United Way partnership is providing the leadership that makes it all possible. The United Way, reaching those who need help, touching us all.
There's Bryce Pop right there. Let's go ahead and run this. Watch him get both hands up in the air. Right there is the block. And really a key sequence is coming up right here. If Thomas Smith is able to cleanly field that ball, he just walks in for a touchdown. As it is, Burris finally comes up with it. An outstanding field position for Buffalo, but that would have been an easy Buffalo touchdown if Smith picks it up cleanly.
Kelly goes to work at the New England 30-yard line. Under pressure, almost has that one picked off by Ted Johnson, intended for Lonnie Johnson. 2nd and 10.
Another rookie performing for the Patriots, Ted Johnson out of Colorado, putting the pressure on Kelly.
And Jim Kelly, kind of a very poorly thrown ball and a poor decision for a guy been around as long as he has.
Out of the gun, 2nd and 10. Over the middle, he hits Holmes. Holmes takes it to the 20 and a marker's down. Flag down at the 34-yard line.
That could have came in late after Chris Slade unloaded on Kelly.
Gordon McCarter indicates tripping against Buffalo.
Look at Reuben Brown.
Tripping, 79, offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Well, the call goes against left guard Reuben Brown. He comes out. There he is, 79. He's going to work on Slade. And he does. That's the old-fashioned leg whip. He does get it on Slade.
2nd and 20. Set up a screen the other way. This is Holmes. He gets inside the 30-yard line back to the 29-yard line. Corwin Brown tackles him there.
Good strong running by Holmes on the screen, getting it back to the original line of scrimmage.
The 3rd down, call it 8 now. 3:15 to go, 3rd quarter. New England up by 10. Tasker in the game, split to the right.
Boy, could Buffalo use Andre Reed right about now.
Oh, boy. Brooks is in the slot to the left. Play crowd is down to 6.
Crowd aware that Kelly's trying to change the play.
He needs 8 to convert. Backpedaling,
wide open,
throwing off his back leg, and open is Brooks. Does he stay in? No, he's out.
Jim Kelly can't believe it.
Can't believe what he did. New England had blown the coverage. Brooks was wide open, and Kelly led him out of bounds.
Well, what happens is that New England really gambles and comes on the blitz. and they are picked up beautifully by Buffalo. They don't get anywhere near the pressure on Jim Kelly they planned. Look how they're stacked up in the middle. And Jim throws a ball where the only place it can be caught. Whoa, that was awfully close.
Now here's a 47-yard attempt. They passed up one earlier by Christie, and this one is off the upright. So in the last series, the Bills had a 4th and 1 and went for it and couldn't get it. Same situation here, 4th and longer, of course, in this particular case, but they opt for a 47-yard attempt off the upright.
Here it is. A direct hit on that upright. If we get a chance, Kenny, I'd like to go back and take a look at that near touchdown pass. Because that, let's look closely at the feet. Billy Brooks is the receiver.
One.
Hard to tell from that angle. The official, you can't fault his position. The side judge is right there. Extremely close.
New England to the 37 and Martin to the 41. I think he made the right call. It looks like
from that angle,
toes come down on the chalk.
When we looked at it from the end zone, from behind, let's take one more peek at that if we possibly could.
Kelly was so upset with himself. He leaves that a little to the inside. It's an easy 6.
But that's really close, but you got to go with the official who's right there on the spot. Jim thinks he's got it, and then finds out he doesn't.
Martin just went over 100 yards on that last carry. And he adds one more to that total. He now has 105. He's up to the 43-yard line. Jim Burris makes the tackle.
So Buffalo having some problems at that end of the field. They have a 4th and 1 and don't convert. And then they try a field goal and hit the upright.
Jim Kelly upset with himself. An easy lead for 6, and he knew that.
Well, you hate to squander a fine blitz pickup by the rest of your offensive team. You just get everything you want going for you, and you don't convert. It's like a hitter who gets that perfectly grooved fastball right down the middle and fouls it off.
3rd down and 3. And the pass is caught by Lee, and it's going to be very close to a first down. Gordon McCarter signals he wants the 6 brought in.
Kevin Lee, I think, caught this in self-defense. I've had something on it. Down low, tough catch, and good defensive play, too. Kerner had his hand in there, and Lee gets the first down. That was one of the defensive coordinators. I couldn't have had a better defense called. And yet, just the arm of Bledsoe and the good hands of Kevin Lee picks up the first down.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. A minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Patriots leading 24-14. Bledsoe. Deep. Just incomplete. Troy Brown looked as if he had it for a moment. Couldn't hold on. Smith and Scholes back there with him.
Keep going at Thomas Smith, and he keeps coming up with big plays. He's right there again on the coverage. Ball having to be thrown absolutely perfectly, and both Scholes and Smith got a hand in there.
Looked like Brooks had, not Brooks, but Brown had the ball all the way to the ground, but the ground actually knocks it loose. But keep in mind, this is not one of those cases where the ground can't cause the fumble. You got to demonstrate possession by hitting the ground and holding on to it when you're talking about a pass reception.
And Meggett is stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 3rd down and 10.
So that's a very alert call by the official. You know, if he had been running with that football and had already had possession, hitting the ground like that, that wouldn't have been a fumble. But when it's a pass reception, got to keep in mind there's a differentiation there. You must hit the ground and still retain the football to get credit for a catch.
We looked at it again. A superb play by Troy Brown. come down with it.
3rd down and 10. Bledsoe guns it to the 40-yard line. That's a 1st down. Kevin Lee makes the catch on what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 1st down, New England. End of 3 at Foxborough. Patriots 24, Bills 14. Monday Night Football returns after this word from our ABC stations.
Peter Jennings. More experience, more depth, more solutions. No wonder more Americans get their news from ABC News. ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Tuesday, Christine and Hayden meet the mother of their child.
Why don't we all just go into the family room, make ourselves pregnant?
On an all-new Coach, Tuesday on ABC.
Here's why you should watch Eyewitness News tonight.
A startling report on pot smoking in your teenager and keeping kids safe from domestic abuse tonight after football.
Pick a Ranger, any Ranger, and right now you'll pick up one great deal. $750 cash back on any Ranger. Pick a Ranger XL, XL Sport, XLT, STX, or Splash, a 4x4 or a 4x2. You can even pick from new 95s and 96s. Just pick a Ranger in stock and pick up $750 cash on America's favorite compact pickup. And you can't pick a better time because this offer ends soon. So pick out your Ranger at a nearby Ford dealer today.
Hey kids, now there's a contest just for you, the Hills Bills Honorary Captain of the Game. Register to win at any Hills department store and you could win 4 tickets in the premium club level suite, be on the sidelines before the game, and see yourself on the Jumbotron. Plus, you could be on Bill's scoreboard with me, Steve Tasker, Saturday at 7:30 on News Channel 7. And win your very own Tasker jersey. Be a part of your hometown teams with the Hills Bills Honorary Captain of the Game contest from News Channel 7.
AM Buffalo Talks Live with Steve Tasker tomorrow morning at 11.
This is really a great scene. These people have waited a long time for Monday Night Football to return to Foxborough. 1981, the last Monday night game for the Pats here.
They were all turned around. They were all yelling at Kelly Hayes.
Yeah. Welcome back, huh? The night is young, and the night has been good so far for the Pats as Martin takes it down to the 36-yard line to start the 4th quarter.
Well, you can make a case that for the New England Patriots, a loss tonight, dropping them to 1-6, the season's over. The season for New England is over. The chances of them winning 9 in a row to make the playoffs at 10-6, I think, are somewhat remote. At 2-5, the way the favorites keep losing in this league, hey, they've got a chance to crawl back into it. Especially the vast majority of their games still to be played are against division opponents, so they have an opportunity to beat the people that they're competing against.
They would be 3 games behind Buffalo with a win. They'd be only 2 games behind Indianapolis and Miami.
And they have them coming up. Miami coming up next week, and then Indianapolis.
That's the standings are coming into tonight's game. Miami losing again yesterday to the Jets. Indy losing at Oakland.
You know, they reeled off 7 in a row last year. They're going to have to do something like that this year to be a factor. But if they were to start, this had to be the place they were going to start.
3rd down and 3, and David Meggett gets tackled before he can pick up the 1st down. Monty Brown makes the stop, so now Parcells has a decision. 4th and a yard or less. Do you opt for a...
You look at that spot, I think it's more like a foot.
You're out on the edge of what Matt Barr can reach.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a go for him.
And especially considering I think you're well inside a yard. That can't be more than a foot for the 1st down. Now, I will say this. Drew Bledsoe is not a great quarterback on the sneak. He doesn't use great. For a big guy, he doesn't have wonderful technique.
They come up in the eye with Martin, the tailback, and Martin runs into a wall.
I don't believe he got it.
Ooh. Bruce Smith.
He needs a very favorable spot, I think, to get this.
He didn't get it.
No, he's not going to get it.
In a lot of situations, I think a quarterback sneak is really the run of choice. And, guys, I think that hurts him. Bledsoe's not very good at it.
Buffalo gets it back.
Stopping the run is Bruce Smith. A lot of credit for sacks, but he's tough against the run.
Black & Decker presents How Would You Fix It?
How did the Bills go without Thurman Thomas? You look for Kelly. He's like Marino. He's good under pressure. Down to the fourth quarter. Look for him. He's going to keep it close. They might even pull one out here.
Kelly has to stop passing the ball over to the guy runner. He has to start putting it in the air. If he doesn't start throwing it for those long passes, we ain't going nowhere.
With a loss of Thurman Thomas tonight, there's no way the Bills can overcome the adversity.
They have to go to the passing game and put it up. That's how I fix it if I was the Bills.
There are two kinds of people in the world. Those who say they'll get around to it, and those who actually do. For those who've discovered there's greater satisfaction in putting things up than in putting them off, we present VersaPack from Black & Decker, a rechargeable battery system that powers an entirely new line of cordless tools. From now on, it's how things get done.
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
How can we protect our children in an increasingly violent world? We'll show what you need to know, keeping kids safe. Tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 5 and 11.
TD Blue makes its season premiere tomorrow right here on ABC. Buffalo taking over on downs at the 30-yard line. Derek Holmes tackled up at the 31 after a gain of 1. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Subway. What a sandwich. AT&T, your true choice. Paramount's Vampire in Brooklyn, coming soon to a theater near you. And Ford and your Ford dealer. If you've driven a Ford lately. 2nd and 9. Kelly throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Tasker up at the 38. And in Foxborough and around the country, we're all thinking about Marv Levy. We talked to him at the half. He sounded great. Hopes to be back in a couple of weeks. 3rd down and 9 at the 31.
Crowd very attuned to the fact that they could disrupt the Bills' play calling at the line of scrimmage. They're on their feet, yelling.
Going with a no huddle, still a lot of time on the play clock. And Kelly with a flag thrown. The whistle had blown. Kelly heard it. Chris Slade may have jumped. Well, or maybe Reuben Brown, the way he's reacting.
Ball start, 79 offense before the snap. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Reuben Brown up a loose. Late flags here against the rookie from Pittsburgh. Had the tripping call a while ago. Yep, shift on the part of the Buffalo defense, and Reuben gets out of his stance, gets the flag.
3rd down and 15 now from the 26-yard line. Kelly throws. Holmes makes the catch. Slips a tackle. Holmes to the 37, but short of the 1st down by 3. 4th and 3.
An outstanding series for the Patriots defensively. Again, you're protecting a 10-point lead, and you force the other team to do it 3 plays and out. That's what you get paid to do, and Al Groh's got to be pretty pleased with what he's seen from his defensive unit here. The Bills have 14 points, and remember, 7 of those came in a very brief period of time right before the end of the 1st half on a couple defensive lapses, allowing some long plays.
The defense ranked 25th in the league coming in after 7 weeks. They've been stout.
Chris Moore's kick. Short one. Very short one. Bad one. Takes a New England bounce. And he's down at the 44-yard line.
Good team, some bad punting tonight.
19-yard punt at a most inopportune time. And a flag is down. For illegal procedure against Buffalo.
There's no way they'll accept this.
Illegal formation. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Offense. Penalty declined. First down.
Gordon didn't even have to ask.
No. You do not decline penalties that negate 19-yard punts. There's no way you accept that.
11:34 to go in the fourth. New England by 10.
You can look at other people's landscapes, or you can find your own.
You know, sometimes where the pavement ends is where the world begins.
We only went to 4-star restaurants until we found one with 4 billion stars.
Isn't it amazing how opening one door can open up so many others? Ford Explorer, because the world's too big to be left unexplored.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
But most of this airline's fleet is modern enough to meet those quieter standards 5 years ahead.
Friday, if you're one of the millions who drive these minivans, just locking the doors and buckling up might not be enough to keep you safe. 2020 investigates Friday.
The Patriots have the ball at their own 45 with 11:34 to go. New England leading by 10. Bledsoe to Coates. And a 13-yard gain and a first down at the 42-yard line. Brown and Jones make the tackle. To the Metrodome we go. Next Monday, the Chicago Bears, along with Green Bay, tied for the top spot in the NFC Central. And the Minnesota Vikings with Warren Moon in a game that has become pretty critical for the Vikings right now. 2 games back in a tight race and trailing not only the Bears and Green Bay, but Tampa Bay as well. On first down, Martin for 3 to the 39-yard line.
Hey guys, if I could just a moment, I'd like to express my personal sympathies to the family of Leo Miles, a former teammate and longtime official, as you know, of the NFL, and did 4 Super Bowls, passed away recently, and just want his family to know we're thinking of him, and all of his fellow officials are thinking of him also.
Well, while we're at it, Frank, one of our fellows went down this past weekend. Jerry Reuter, he's convalescing at the University of Iowa Hospital. Jerry works on our crew here, a tech operations manager. He had a stroke in Iowa while we were covering college football there over the weekend. And Jerry, we hope that you're recovering. Still there in Iowa, and geez, get better. Saying hello from all the guys on the crew here, and we wish you well.
We have a pretty tight club here.
Yes, we certainly do. And hate to see one of us go down. Well, the Patriots here in a position to wreak some havoc on the Buffalo Bills. Up by 10, a little over 10 minutes left in the ball game. A point-producing drive here really wounds the Bills.
And a big defensive play here for Buffalo, and on 3rd and 8, they're equal to the task as they pressure Bledsoe to the point. He has to fling it away. Bryce Pop, Phil Hansen, and Bruce Smith were all there. 4th down, forcing a punt.
It's hard to describe what a 50 pass attempts by an offensive unit will do to the defensive player on the field. Everything is a sprint. These guys will be exhausted if they aren't already at the end of this game.
Bryce Pop came very close to getting what would have been a league-leading sack.
Be half down, right?
Yep.
Pat O'Neill to punt.
Another short putt.
A little floater. And it bounces out of bounds near the 20-yard line. That's where they'll mark it. Kelly and company taking over. 10 minutes left in regulation, and the Bills are down by 10.
As the official airline of the 1996 Olympic Games, Delta has created an event just for business travelers, the International Dash. With 4,900 daily flights to 300 cities, we'll fly you to the business world with a schedule that's as full as yours. And we don't do it so we can finish first. We do it so you can. Delta Airlines.
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
His name is Max, and he's a nice guy for a vampire. Just don't insult him. Use his furniture.
Never sit on my coffin.
Or ever mess with his girl.
Quickest way to a woman's heart? Through the church. Actually through the rib cage, but that's a bit messy.
Eddie Murphy and Angela Bassett in a film by Wes Craven. Vampire in Brooklyn.
I would love to have you for dinner.
Rated R. Starts Friday, October 27th, everywhere. Moves Montel.
News Channel 7.
Montel has joined the hometown team.
See you here, Buffalo.
Yeah. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Buffalo Bills take over at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, the Coneheads here tonight.
Yeah.
An exuberant crowd in Foxborough, Mass.
Here's Derek Holmes.
Whoa, he fouled it.
Loses the football. New England has it. Ricky Reynolds knocked it loose, and Vincent Brown recovers the fumble.
Buffalo needed something out of this drive, and they didn't need this. Rookie from Portland State, he takes everything kind of hard.
That's his second fumble
one he put down. Thurman Thomas put it on the ground in the first quarter. Got a helmet right on it. Ricky Reynolds. And he got the recovery. Vincent Brown.
Now we know that Derek Holmes is a nice find in the 7th round, but you got to wonder about the Bills offensively. If Thurman Thomas is out for any length of time, with Andre Reed already sidelined, you have got to be vitally concerned about where this Buffalo Bills offense is going and how much they're going to be able to produce without that guy in the lineup, Thurman Thomas.
Well, it's not just the running game. He brings so much to the table as a pass receiver out of the backfield. You can use him in the slot as a wide receiver. This is a slack that Derek Holmes will not take up.
Well, we've talked before about the amazing productivity of Kelly, of Thomas, and of Reed, the leading passer, receiver, and running back for their franchise for so long. When you take 2 out of the 3 out of that equation, they're going to suffer.
2nd and 7. Martin again. And he's tackled for a loss of 1. Sam Rogers makes the hit. We should acknowledge, by the way, Ricky Reynolds, who created that Derek Holmes fumble. Ricky Reynolds has been in the National Football League since '87, mainly with Tampa Bay. Tonight is the 126th game that Ricky Reynolds has played in this league. It's the first time he's been on Monday Night Football. It's almost impossible to play that many games and not be in a Monday night game.
Well, not if you play for Tampa Bay.
That's
true.
And then went to New England. And if he was in Tampa Bay, that streak would be continuing. Although Sam Weiss is doing his best to see that they're on next year.
3rd down and 9. Bledsoe throws. The catch is made by Kevin Lee. It's 1st and goal at the 6.
Crowd that booed the running play a moment ago, loudly cheering Ray Perkins' call. And well thrown. Lee having a big night. Kevin Lee filling in for an injured Will Moore. Hit Only 2 receptions in his NFL career.
Slow to get up. I think he takes a shot to the head here at the end of the play. Oh, yeah, there's Lee on the ground, and one of the Bills going by catches him with his left knee right in the ear hole.
First and goal from the 6. No gain, Martin.
I think it's some of the toughest shots a guy takes, Frank, are the knee to the helmet. You don't see it coming. You don't see him coming, and it is really a stunning blow.
It's sort of that white shock.
Yeah, right here. I think it's Kurt Schultz coming along. Yep. They never seem to look like that much, but boy, do they sting. And you can see it had an effect on Kevin Lee right there. Totally inadvertent by Schultz.
Second and goal at the 6. Burke, the tight end, in motion. He provides leverage on the right side. Martin swings to the outside and gets tackled just outside the 5. Bryce Pop is there.
Well, I tell you, that's fine running. Henry Jones is up there in the backfield. That would have been a 3 or 4 yard loss, and turned into a pickup of maybe a yard and a half.
It was a great look at Martin. He wanted to turn upfield, started to turn upfield, and all of a sudden he sees, here comes Henry Jones, the unguided missile coming right up through the hole. Watch him. He's going to take a dip right here. Whoa, there's Jones back to the outside.
Third and goal. Buffalo has to stop him here to stay in the game. Reduce them to a field goal attempt. And they will. So instead of New England going up by 17 had they scored, it'll be 13.
It's a critical difference, especially to a team that can score quickly. I'm just wondering how quickly the Buffalo Bills in this situation are able to score. They're wounded offensively.
But at least they'll only have to score twice instead of 3 times. And the field goal attempt by Barr is just good from 24 yards. So 6:23 left in the 4th. The Patriots up 27-14.
The new 4.6-liter V8 Mustang GT and the new limited edition 305 horsepower V8 Mustang Cobra. Hello. Not since Mr. Ed has a horse spoken so clearly.
Whoa, Wilbur. You're my agent. You have to do something about this. My face is on the cup with a duck. Well, I'm allergic to ducks. Well, what about Bugs Bunny? He's cool. What? Emmitt Smith has bugs? He's just a running back.
Now at McDonald's, get a free Looney Plays to-go cup when you supersize any extra value meal. The NFL's Emmitt Smith with Bugs, Barry Sanders with Taz, Bledsoe with Wiley, and Marino with Daffy on new to-go cups.
How'd I get on a McDonald's cup with Marino? I'm agent. I'm allergic to dolphins. Have you had your break today?
That is a work of art. Frank, you've never looked better.
Well, and Dan, you've got a lot of teeth. Great crowd. They're wildly cheering their New England Patriots that have been stumbling around through the early part of the season and putting on quite a show here tonight. First time in 14 years they've hosted Monday Night Football. They're very proud of it.
Well, it's one of the things that when Bob Kraft took over the team, he said, it's very important for us to get a Monday night game back here. They had major crowd problems and crowd control problems in the past. And that's part of the reason that it's been that long. And there is the owner of the Patriots. And he was very happy to be able to host a Monday night game. Taken at the 8-yard line by Derek Holmes. And Holmes gets wrestled down up at the 30-yard line.
I think it's safe to say in these possessions coming up for Buffalo that Derek Holmes may get a firm grip on the football. If he's not two-handing this every time he touches the ball, he'll be lucky to see it. Well, who else is going to have to go exclusively to his wide receivers and tight end The back is a big receiver in this offense.
Kelly McGinnis. Willie McGinnis.
That's the second sack of the season for Willie, who, in this man's estimation, could play a whole lot better than he has. So you're the fourth pick in the draft. A lot's expected of you.
That's great natural talent that has just not fully developed yet.
As Parcells put it last night, he just hasn't hit the target, is what he said. He hits the target here. Second and 23. Over the middle, Holmes back out to the 27-yard line. It's going to be third and about 12.
What Dan was referring to. So many times see Thurman Thomas come out of that backfield as the prime receiver. There's Thurman looking on.
Third and 12 at the 28-yard line. 5:20 to go. Kelly can't convert. Broken up at the end. Corwin Brown, number 30. Intended for Russell Copeland. Brown taking the spot of the injured Myron Guyton.
And Buffalo's going to punt the ball away. Facing a 4th and a dozen. Deciding that the odds of converting aren't good enough to justify going for it.
The New England defense has come up big tonight. The Bills are 1 of 11 on third down.
Nicely done by Brown. Great play.
Moore to punt. Meggett to receive it. He thought about calling for a fair catch. Takes it at the 31-yard line. And dances back up to the 44. Tackled there by Mark Knight. 42-yard punt. 5:04 left in regulation.
David will give you a thrill. He's had so many years whether he's either returned a punt or a kickoff for a touchdown. He's still working on it this year. Deadly little return man. Took a quick look. Figured he didn't have to go with the fair catch. Has a great presence out there in the kicking game.
First down, New England at the 45-yard line. Take some time off the clock now up to the 49-yard line.
Well, one of the things that's really been lacking this year has been a running game for the Patriots. And of course, a lot of that is because they've always been behind and they've been relying on the arm of Drew Bledsoe to get back into these games. Coming into tonight, they've been averaging only 90 yards per game. You see tonight, 41 carries, 139 yards. And finally, they're getting a chance to demonstrate what they can do if they have a lead and can run a more balanced offense. I think everyone agrees 50 passes a game is not the way that the Patriots are going to win games.
Second and 5. Bledsoe taking a lot of time off the clock. Play clock was down to 3. Martin gets tackled as he crosses the 50 to the 49-yard line. Third down and 3, and Buffalo has to start conserving time as they take a timeout. When we talked to Parcells last night, the team with a mark of 1 and 5, Bill said, I think there's better talent here than the record suggests. And he said, I know that's a little bit of a self-indictment. And for Bill, I mean, those are words that you don't hear him utter very often.
He's almost reflective, and reflective more than combative. And, the old Bill Parcells, I think would have been quicker to come out swinging, so to speak. And he's matured, he's grown, and I know it's caused a lot of concern here in New England. I know there are people here who think maybe he's lost his competitive fire. I think those are people that don't know Bill very well. But still, there are a lot of question marks surrounding his long-term future with the New England Patriots. Some of it revolves around health. Some of it revolves around the success of the team. But there are question marks, guys.
He has pretty much free reign here, too. In effect, he's his own general manager or personnel man or whatever it is you want to refer to, somebody who also chooses players from the draft, makes the trades, decides who gets released. And David Meggett, after that timeout by Buffalo, destroys the strategy by picking up a first down.
So much of his problems this year has been injury. He lost Wilmore. He was not able to go tonight. Ben Coates, who is about 50% of the pass offense, has been less than 100% all year long, playing at what I was told about 75% with the bad ankle. He just has had, everywhere he looks, he's had a problem. He had a Pro Bowl tackle that's not been able to play all season long, Pat Marlowe, and you put those all things, put them all together, and it spells 1 and 5. And they're getting well, and they're getting healthy.
42-yard line.
Excuse me, Al. This is a big step for them tonight.
Well, one of the guys who's
everybody's coming back to them.
Jeff Dellenbach, the center, he's been out. Dave Wollabaugh, the rookie from Syracuse, has anchored the line tonight. He's done a nice job.
And William Roberts making his first start over in the left guard spot. He's played well.
There's Dellenbach on the sideline. The rookie is in there at center.
But this is a team that can still be in it, but they really needed this one tonight.
2:50 to go. Patriots up by 13. Little Meggett tackled by Smith. First down.
They love him here like they used to love him at Giant Stadium.
Mighty Might.
Although he has not been a big part of the New England offense so far this year, and a lot of people have been asking questions, was it really worth all the money that we paid for David Meggett? I think he's just showing that he's not a guy that's going to create a lot of things at the line of scrimmage. You need to get him past the line and then into the open field. Then that's what a guy like that does best.
See him cover up that ball, though. Oh, he's not going to give it up.
Here's Meggett. Picks up 4 and then takes us to the 2-minute warning in Foxborough. The Patriots on the verge of stamping a 5-game losing streak.
Hi, I'm Steve Largent, checking out a little personal history at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I can't believe it's been 5 years since I last played a game in the National Football League. But now I can get right back into the action, thanks to an exciting and unique attraction called the 100-Yard Universe. Your official sideline pass admits you to the locker room theater, where 6 channels of digital surround sound put you in the middle of pregame preparation. You'll never get closer to an NFL pep talk. Then some advanced technology puts a new spin on things, literally. This theater actually rotates, allowing the fans to follow the players on game day from the locker room to the field for the spectacular stadium show. It's the CinemaScope extravaganza, supported by an 80-piece orchestra that brings the action so close you can almost touch it.
Watch out!
So take a trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. You'll see NFL action like you've never seen it before in the 100-Yard Universe.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
The executive producer of Monday Night Football is Jack O'Hara, and tonight's game, as always, Monday Night Football produced by Ken Wolf. The great Wolfman, Craig Janoff, our illustrious director. And Joey Chavo at the controls, twisting every dial. Our associate producer, Ben Ace Harvey. Jaime Bravo, our associate director. Bob Simon, Dennis Zabo, Jim Licata. Making sure the pictures get out on the sound, and Brian Gordon and Victor Vitarelli, the assistants to the producer. Steve Hurt, the illustrious director of information.
Overworked.
The man who does not sleep, has no time to sleep.
Computer is smoking.
All week long.
Now, there must be 55 of the 60,000 still remaining here at the stadium. They've been waiting for this, and they're going to savor it.
Why not?
And I guess because they are, we're going to be forced to savor with them for a long time to come tonight, getting away from here.
All the way down Route 1.
Route 1 is a parking lot.
Second down and 5 from the 25, and David Meggett gets wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Tackled there by Monty Brown. Buffalo takes its second timeout. You know, when you look at New England, not only is this a critical game for them to win, and they're on the verge of doing it right now, but talk about how things can look a whole lot better overnight. The next 2 weeks, they face Carolina and the New York Jets. Now, I know both of those teams won yesterday, but it's certainly better than having Dallas and San Francisco over the next 2 weeks.
Yes, indeed. Then a big game down in Miami, Indianapolis, and then Buffalo. But look at how many of those games, 4 of those 5, are in their division. And if you're trying to crawl back in it, it's the double whammy. You not only give yourself a W, but you tag an L on one of your competitors.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, at the end of last season, New England won 7 in a row. So we go to 10-6 before losing to Cleveland in the playoffs.
One of the things, guys, I think that Bill really wanted to see tonight was his team to play with some heart. Where they had a couple games there where they kind of rolled over and went toes up, especially that Sunday nighter against Denver. But not much of an effort on their part, and it really disturbed Bill Parcells, and he wanted to know how much fight this team had left in it. They came back, played pretty well last week, but still lost to Kansas City. And this is domination here tonight, more than a 2-1 margin in the time of possession.
Reconstruct those games, though. I mean, when they lost to Atlanta, Bledsoe, that was the one game he missed. He came back against Denver. They lost 37-3, but he was not the Drew Bledsoe that leads this team. His shoulder was still hurting him. And he just kind of pulled it together last week in a game that they could have great opportunity to win over Kansas City. They got the ball back 3 or 4 times at the end of the game, and they made some mental mistakes to lose that game. And so, I mean, Bill Parcells isn't totally disheartened with this team. He knows that they're capable of getting back into it.
But, Frank, even though Bledsoe wasn't up to snuff in that Denver game,
he got murdered.
Yeah, the team, there was a lack of effort there that really disturbed him.
When your leader goes down, though, it's tough to get it together.
Third down and 8 at the 28-yard line. 3rd and 9 at the 28-yard line. As we have 1:53 left in the 4th, and they give it to Sam Gash, and he gets tackled at the line of scrimmage by Ted Washington, and now Buffalo will take its final timeout. It's 4th down at the 29-yard line.
It would be, what, about a 47-yard field goal?
46 or 47, yeah, but you know, it's the kind of play where...
Well, you don't want one blocked at this point in the game.
Even if you make it, you're up by 16. Buffalo would still only have to score twice.
The thing that could hurt you the most is turning it over, the interception, having scored, getting a field goal block, having that run in. Well, you play it very conservatively here.
Well, they've already had one field goal block. Bryce Pop blocked the one. And if Thomas Smith would have picked it up, it would have gone. Pop comes off the field. You know, we saw that graphic.
Be exhausted.
Well, we saw that graphic that the Patriots have run almost 90 offensive plays tonight. In this day and age in the NFL, that's a huge number of offensive plays. And you're right. I'm sure everybody for Buffalo defensively is gassed. They're out of here.
Well, they're going to send Barr in for a 48-yard field goal attempt.
That's right on the edge for him.
Well, instead they snap it to him, and he punts it, and it just does bounce into the end zone.
Stronger than he thought.
Yep.
Cute play.
By 2 inches.
And
wait a minute, they're looking at that ball. Now they're going to bring it out.
They'll bring it back out to the 20-yard line. Just does bounce into the end zone.
So Buffalo will get started out at the 20-yard line. The count for New England, 88 offensive plays. That is the most run by any team in the league to this point in time.
Kelly, Holmes, and he's tackled a little short of the first down, but more importantly, he stays in bounds, and Buffalo doesn't have a timeout left. 2nd down, less than a yard up at the 30-yard line. Still taking a lot of time to run off the play on 2nd and 1. It's Holmes. Flag is thrown. Holmes gets up to the 38-yard line, and only because the flag was thrown does the clock stop.
This is a type of situation, you know, where they could use James Lofton. They could use Don Beebe in his speed. They could use Andre Reed. They could use Thurman Thomas. They could use a whole lot of people that Pete Metzelaars they no longer have offensively. Metzelaars.
I mentioned Joyner's name because he's one of their assistant coaches right now.
72 offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Keith
McKellar.
Max McGee.
Albert DeBinion. Cookie Gilchrist for that matter. Jack Kemp.
2nd and 10. And the catch is made up at the 33-yard line by Russell Copeland, but again he stays in bounds and the clock keeps running.
Got 3 completions, 3 receivers staying in bounds.
Kelly, Holmes. Well, among other things, if you're going to mount any kind of a drive here, you've got to go to the outside because with no timeouts, you're killing yourself by running plays in the middle of the field. And they'll be running out of time in less than 15 seconds as Russell Copeland makes the catch up near midfield. Buffalo's 5-game winning streak comes to an end. New England's 5-game losing streak comes to an end. Don Shula and Ted Marchibroda say thank you, Patriots. Keeping Buffalo within the Colts and Dolphins sights. As Copeland runs out of bounds with 8 seconds to go.
Well, the Bills still leave here 5-2 and still in the lead in the AFC East, but the big question surrounds that guy right there. How badly is Thurman Thomas's hamstring hurt, and how long will he be out?
Kelly to Holmes, and that'll look good on the stat sheet, but that's all. Time expires, and Monday Night Football returns to Foxborough for the first time since 1981. And there's a party going on right here.
That was the name of a song, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.